There are moments when the world grows still, and time itself seems to fold into silence. You're walking, thinking, existing in the quiet rhythm of your day, and then it happens. A deer crosses your path, not running, not startled, but gliding like a whisper of the forest itself. In that instant, something within you pauses. Your breath softens. Your soul listens. This is not coincidence. This is sacred alignment. This is the universe speaking in the language of symbol, sending a gentle creature to deliver what words cannot. The deer, in its elegant silence, becomes a mirror of your own spirit, tender, alert, and full of knowing. The first message it brings is one of compassion. The deer does not attack. It does not conquer. It survives through gentleness. Its presence reminds you that strength need not roar. Sometimes strength is the ability to remain soft in a world that demands hardness. Perhaps you've been guarding your heart too tightly. Perhaps life has taught you to be cautious. But the deer comes to say, be kind still. Be gentle with yourself. Be open again. Let your empathy return. The next meaning rises like a breath, intuition. The deer senses what the eyes cannot see. Its hooves kiss the earth without sound. It hears danger before it arrives. When a deer crosses your path, it may be calling you to trust your inner knowing, the whispers of your heart, the instincts you've buried beneath reason. Not all things can be explained. Some must simply be felt, and in those feelings there is truth. Let the deer teach you how to listen again, not to noise, but to soul. Then comes the call to spiritual growth. The deer is not a stagnant creature. It roams, it explores, it migrates through seasons of death and renewal. In its eyes lies the memory of ancient forests and the wisdom of cycles. If a deer has crossed your path, perhaps your soul is shedding old skin, preparing for a new becoming. Growth is not always loud. Often, it happens in the quiet, in the unseen spaces of the soul. The deer appears to affirm your transformation. It says, you are changing and that is holy. Walk through it with grace. And as you change, remember your place in nature. The deer is not separate from its landscape. It is the landscape. When it appears before you, it brings a message of reconnection. Maybe you've been caught in walls, in noise, in distraction. Maybe the sacred green of the earth has become distant. The deer says, return. Step into the woods again. Sit in the grass. Watch the wind. You belong here. Your roots are deeper than you know. And through that connection, another message reveals itself. Beauty. The deer moves like water through light. It reminds you that there is still beauty in the world, even when pain surrounds you. Its slender legs, its alert gaze, the curve of its antlers, all speak of elegance born not from perfection, but from presence. You too are beautiful when you are present, not when you are polished, not when you are perfect, but when you are true. Let beauty be simple again. Let it be breath and stillness and the shimmer of morning light through trees. When the deer appears, it carries another message. Trust. Trust not as a blind leap into the unknown, but as a slow surrender to the unfolding path beneath your feet. Deer walk winding trails without needing to see the entire forest. They trust their senses. They trust the earth. So too must you learn to walk with faith, even when the destination is still hidden. The deer invites you to stop questioning every shadow and instead walk gently with what you do know. The next step, just the next breath. That is enough. The path will open as you move. With trust comes surrender, and with surrender comes peace. Peace not born from answers, but from allowing mystery to live beside you without needing it explained. Another meaning that lingers in the deer's gentle presence is emotional sensitivity. The deer does not charge through the world. It feels its way. It notices the quiet. It reacts to tone, to energy, to presence. When a deer crosses your path, it may be reminding you to reconnect with your emotional world, not to fear your sensitivity, but to honor it. In a world that moves fast and praises hardness, the deer calls you back to softness. To feel deeply is not weakness. It is power in its most raw and honest form. What are you avoiding feeling? Where have you numbed yourself? Let the deer lead you back to feeling. Let it teach you that your sensitivity is a strength, not a flaw. That your heart knows things the mind cannot explain. From this softness flows humility. The deer is never arrogant. It does not boast. It walks the forest as guest and guardian, knowing its place in the sacred web. Its humility is its protection. Its modesty is its strength. When the deer shows itself to you, it may be calling you to step back from the noise of pride and return to simplicity. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to be loud to be worthy. You don't have to win to be enough. The deer reminds you, your sacredness is not measured by what you do, but by how present you are to what is. Another sacred message found in the deer's path is presence itself. The deer does not dwell in the past or rush toward the future. It is alive only in the now, listening, sensing, responding. Are you here now, or lost in thoughts of what was or what might be? The deer invites you to return to this moment, this breath, this step. In the presence of now, healing begins. In the awareness of now, guidance speaks. Everything you need is found here, not later, not before, but here. One of the most luminous meanings the deer brings is gentleness in transformation. Life is change, and often that change feels brutal. But the deer reminds us that change can also be graceful. It can unfold like a leaf, not explode like thunder. When a deer crosses your path, it may be a sign that you are in a moment of quiet transformation. Let it be gentle. You do not need to force your evolution. You only need to allow it. The deer says, let your becoming be soft. Let your growth feel like morning light, not wildfire. Let yourself emerge slowly, sacredly, beautifully. There is no rush. Sacred things take time. Alongside transformation comes alignment. The deer does not stray without purpose. It does not wander without listening. It moves in alignment with the forest, with seasons, with stars. If a deer appears before you, ask yourself, where in my life have I fallen out of alignment? What part of me has forgotten its rhythm? The deer may be calling you back to your inner harmony. When your heart and your actions are aligned, peace returns. When your soul and your choices walk together, the path becomes clearer. The deer arrives not to correct you, but to remind you, you still know the way. Even if you've strayed, the forest remembers your name. The trail is still beneath your feet. Trust it, walk it. Return to your sacred timing, your sacred rhythm, your sacred self. There is a moment in every journey when silence becomes the teacher. The deer embodies this silence. Not the silence of absence, but the silence of sacred awareness. When a deer pauses and looks directly into your eyes, it does so not with fear, but with ancient memory. You are seen not just as a person walking a road, but as a soul crossing a threshold. This is the invitation to awaken your memory, to remember who you were before the world told you who to be. The deer carries ancestral energy, moving through forests as if it knows stories the trees still whisper. Its appearance may be calling you to reconnect with your lineage, not just biological, but spiritual. What traditions have you forgotten? What truths are hidden in your bones? The deer invites you to remember what is older than thought, what is sacred, eternal, and yours. And within this remembering lies another calling, shadow work. The deer lives near the edge of light and dark. It is a creature of dusk and dawn. It walks the in-between spaces, and so must you. When a deer enters your path, it may be asking you to face what you've hidden, not with shame, but with reverence. Your shadow is not your enemy. It is the part of you still waiting to be loved. The deer comes to guide you through the forest of your soul, not to conquer it, but to walk it gently with lantern in hand. What have you feared to feel? What parts of your past still ache in silence? Let the deer show you that healing does not come from avoiding the dark, but from walking through it with grace. As you move through shadow, another truth appears, divine timing. The deer does not rush. It waits, it listens. It moves when the earth calls it forward. This is your reminder that life is not a race. There is no urgency in spiritual growth, only rhythm, only alignment. When a deer crosses your path, it is not early or late, it is right on time. So are you. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are exactly where you are meant to be. Trust the pace of your soul. Some lessons bloom slowly, some paths unfold with gentle steps. Let the deer remind you that your timing is holy, that the delay is not punishment, it is preparation. What is meant for you will arrive, not through force, but through flow. Wait with open hands, trust with open heart. And finally, there is the message of spiritual communication. The deer is a vessel of message. It brings not words, but presence. When it steps into your field, it is a visitation, a communion, perhaps an answer to a prayer you whispered and forgot, perhaps a sign sent by something greater, God, the universe, your guides. You are not alone. You are not unseen. The deer comes to remind you that spirit speaks in symbols, in nature, in the sacred ordinary. Are you listening? Have you noticed the signs around you? The deer asks you to pay attention, not with your mind, but with your spirit. To become fluent again in the language of wonder. To believe that everything is speaking to you, if only you slow down enough to hear. So pause, watch, breathe. The deer is not just passing through. It is delivering a sacred message that only your soul can decode. Let it in, let it speak. Let it awaken something ancient and beautiful within you. And now, as the deer begins to vanish into the trees once more, you are left with the echo of its presence. You may never see it again, or perhaps it will return tomorrow. But its message lingers. It does not need to stay long to leave a lasting imprint on the soul. The deer arrives as a moment but remains as meaning. You carry it now, the stillness, the wisdom, the beauty. Every step the deer took was a blessing across your path. Every blink a prayer. You've been marked by grace. You've been touched by wild divinity. And what do you do with such a visitation? You remember, you walk softer, you listen deeper. You become more of who you were always meant to be. The deer has offered you more than signs. It has offered you yourself. It reflected your own gentleness, your own intuition, your own connection to nature, spirit, and sacred memory. What you saw in the deer was already living inside you. You simply needed a mirror. And now that you've seen, you cannot unsee. Now that you've heard, you cannot forget. Carry these meanings like medicine. Let compassion guide your interactions. Let intuition be your compass. Let growth come without fear. Let your connection with nature reawaken the roots of your being. Let beauty soften your gaze. Let trust be your path even when the road is unclear. Let humility shape your posture in this world. Let presence draw you back from distraction. Let transformation move gently through you. Let alignment restore your rhythm. Let ancient memory rise from within your bones. Let shadow work lead you not to fear, but to wholeness. Let divine timing loosen your grip on urgency. Let spiritual communication become your daily language. These are not just 15 teachings. They are one song sung in different tones. And that song is the deer's song. It plays now in your heart. Let it stay. Let it echo through your choices, your silence, your joy. When you step outside again and look toward the forest, you may feel it before you see it. A stirring, a shimmer, the hush of branches. Maybe a deer will appear again. Maybe it won't. But the invitation is eternal. The presence of the deer has awakened something in you that no absence can take away. This is the gift of the wild. This is the blessing of the sign. When you find yourself doubting again, forgetting again, hurting again, remember the deer. Remember its eyes. Remember its breath. You are never truly lost when you remember what found you. And so you walk on. You walk with softer steps, with deeper breath, with a soul that has been spoken to. You walk not to chase, but to become. Not to seek, but to embody. You are not just the one who saw the deer. You are now the one who carries its wisdom. Its meanings are your own. And wherever you go, the spirit of the deer goes too. Silent, strong, and always sacred.